Today we are going to talk about finding information for research using a database such as Infobits by Gale. Using a database instead of Googling. Googling is easy and you can find a lot of information, but how can you be sure that the information is accurate and from a reliable source? If you use a database, it will help you eliminate some of those concerns. When using a database, Google, or any other resource to find information, it will help if you remember this acronym. You're looking for currency. How current is the information? Because old information may not be accurate. Reliability. Is the source reliable, or does the information show a bias one way or the other? When you're looking at this, you can take the author and search for other things written by them to see if information from the author has a history of showing a bias towards or against a subject. You're also looking at authority. Is the information accurate, or does the author have an authority in the subject? Have they proven the research behind the information that they have written? Purpose. Does the information meet your needs? Does it answer your questions? Using the CRAP acronym, you can see if the information you are looking for will help you in your research. You also have to remember that anyone who has written something or created something has intellectual rights. When researching, whether it's Google, a database, encyclopedia, or any other resource, be sure to honor the author's intellectual rights. Copyright laws are set into place to protect the authors of content in print, digital and books, pictures, and even videos. If you copy someone else's work, it is called plagiarism. This is against the law, so be sure to use your own words when taking notes. And if you do write down a direct quote, be sure to cite your work. Intellectual rights also apply to work that you have created. Research is like being a detective. It's like having a mystery that you need to solve and dig for clues, and it does take time, so be patient. Now, when you are researching, sometimes using things like Boolean search terms will help you narrow down information. Let's take a look at what these are. TeacherTap has offered us some search strategies. As I scroll down, I want you to take a look at these Boolean search strategies. I can add "and" to include both words. For example, sand and sculpture, or to include either word, ice or sand and sculpture, or not. So as we're searching, we can try some of these search terms. So we're going to take a look at Infobits. We're going to start from our school library page. We're going to click on this link right here that's called Search Tools. From the Search Tools, we're going to scroll down. These are all of the databases that are available to you. Today, we have chosen to look at Kids Infobits by Gale. When we click on Infobits, it will pop up for us. Now, normally, it will ask you to sign in. Today, it has not, but remember, your school mascot is your password. Gale has taken these categories for us. It's very easy. I could choose to search animals, music and movies, people, and all of these other categories, even geography. Today, I want to search people. I really like Eleanor Roosevelt, and so I've decided I want to find information about her to do a biography project. I'm going to click people. Eleanor Roosevelt? Let me think. I know she was married to a president, and I know she did a lot of things. She wasn't a president, so she wouldn't fall under government and political leaders, so I think she'll be a historical figure. Let me look for her here. When I click on historical figures, I have a whole list of people that pops up. And if I look next to the list, I have a little speech button that will say their name for them. And as I scroll down, I'm looking on the list that's in alphabetical order. I see some amazing people on here, such as Amelia Earhart, Geronimo. I see Malcolm X, and looky there, Eleanor Roosevelt. As I click on Eleanor Roosevelt, it's going to give me several options. It shows me a book that's available. It says there are 5 biographies available, 2 pictures, 41 magazine articles, and 6 news articles. If I'm going to write a biography or write about Eleanor Roosevelt's life, then I want true and accurate information. I can choose to check out each of these links. As you see, there is a symbol right here. If you hover over it, the green circle says that the content level is basic, and the yellow square says that the content level is intermediate. If I go to the book and I click on the Great Depression, it is going to pop up with the content. If I click on this button right here, it will play the content for me, and it's going to tell me the full text, and it will read it for me. It also has little sidebars about the Dust Bowl, and one of the sidebars in this book about the stock market is about Eleanor Roosevelt. So I can tell that the whole book was not about her. She was just one box in a sidebar. If I find information about Eleanor Roosevelt that I choose to use in my project, then I do need to cite this book. As I scroll down in this light green box, I see a citation. This citation is in MLA 8th edition. If my teacher has asked me to use MLA, then this edition is fine. If she has not, I can scroll up here to Citation Tools and click on it. And it gives me a drop-down menu where I can choose MLA 8th or 7th edition. I can choose APA 6th edition or Chicago 16th edition. Let's pretend my teacher has asked me to use APA 6th edition. When I select it in the drop-down menu, the citation has changed to APA 6th edition. When I click Select, it selects it for me, and I can copy and paste it into my paper, and I have an accurate citation if I choose to use the information from this book. If I want to go back to my search results for Eleanor Roosevelt, I can just click on her name up here, and it takes me back to the information that I have on her. If I want to look at the 5 biographies that were available, you will notice only 3 have shown up. So I click on the word biographies, and all 5 will show up. I want to check out one of these green dot biographies versus one of these yellow square biographies to see the difference. This green dot again said basic. I want to scroll down. Again, I have the option to listen. It says when she was born, when she died, other names, nationality, occupation, and here's my full text article with a photograph. And again, my citation, I have the option at the top to change that. So this was a basic level. If I choose to use this information, then again, I need to cite it. I can also choose to email this to myself. I can download it. I can print. I can highlight and make notes. I can save it. And because it would read it to me, it does allow me to download an MP3 or to share it. Another great thing that Infobits offers is I can also translate this article into other languages. And so if I need this article in Spanish, I have that option. Let's go back and check out the intermediate level. The word count is higher. There's no photograph. It talks about her childhood. That might be something I'm looking for my biography. It says that she didn't like high society. And I can see that this one is slightly more difficult. So I might find the information that I'm looking for to do my biography project for Eleanor Roosevelt here. I also see that I have some pictures available for Eleanor. And I'm looking down here on the magazines and the newspaper. Now remember, we were looking for information that was accurate and reliable. So this information up here on biographies is more likely to be accurate. Down here under magazines and news, more than likely it is accurate, but that's something that you'll have to read carefully and look into the authors. If you are doing biographies, you can look by people, but there's another way to search. I want to go back to the home page. I didn't know when I first started if Eleanor Roosevelt would be available, so I could have just come up here to the search bar and I could have typed in her name. When I type in Eleanor Roosevelt, it starts to pop up lots of names. It even starts to pop up her cousin, her husband, and so I can select her name up there. You'll notice that parentheses pop up around her name. That's part of those Boolean search terms. When you put words in parentheses, the Boolean search terms keep those two words together. That way it doesn't search for Eleanor and it doesn't search for Roosevelt separately. It keeps Eleanor Roosevelt together. When I search for Eleanor Roosevelt here, you'll notice that the book is gone. I only have 3 biographies, 29 magazines, 4 news. And so my search terms were a little different. If I go back and search under Advanced, then I have those options for those Boolean search terms. I could type in Eleanor Roosevelt and FDR, which was her husband, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And I could search again to find information. It didn't like that, so let's try it again. I may have to type out his name. So these are going to give me search terms that are going to talk about Eleanor with her husband. You notice that the results are fewer. So when I use and, it's only going to give me search terms that have Eleanor and Franklin. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was her husband. If I go back and I change my search to say or, and I'll do his full name, this search will give me either Eleanor Roosevelt or Franklin. Let's see how many results I get. I have 2 books, 6 biographies, pictures, 74 magazines, 23 newspapers. And if you notice on this biography, this one is just FDR, and then these 2 are Eleanor. So let's click on that and see how many FDRs they give us. So that one's FDR, and the rest are Eleanor. And then if I do not, let's go to those advanced search terms again. I can change this to not. On this search term, I am looking for articles that talk about Eleanor Roosevelt that absolutely do not mention her husband. Let's see how many we have this time. Okay, this time we have 2 books, 5 biographies, pictures, magazine articles. So we have a lot more search terms this time. As you can see, there are many different ways that we can search. I could choose to search about animals, geography, even social studies. Remember, when you are searching and doing research, you are being a detective, so don't forget to dig for those clues and be patient.